Supreme Court decision secures my vote in my country. You keep saying, Mark Elias, Aunt Martha, that it's Trump. It's Trump's Supreme Court. No, it's my Supreme Court. They are deciding that was in my interest. Since they screwed up on the 14th Amendment, they might as well continue to give wins to me. So look at Auntie Martha over here and why she's so upset and got this finger going and just completely visibly shaken.
The effort to commandeer the U.S. Postal Service.
Oh!
In a shameful act to turn it into a voter suppression war machine
against
the citizens of the United States.
Voter suppression war machine
is both unlawful and unconstitutional.
No, it's neither.
That the Constitution gives the president no authority to have done this.
Article 2.
That the U.S. Postal Service final rule is not only based on an unlawful executive order.
It's not an unlawful executive order. The post office falls under the executive authority. The executive authority is Article 2. That is the commander-in-chief. That is...
What's up, you guys? What's up, you guys? I'm back using Riverside, which I like way better because StreamYard, it's kind of bootleg. And then, yeah, I'm back. I hope you guys like this setup.
Donald John Trump. He has every...
I'm gonna play a couple of clips from X. I'm gonna play some videos and stuff from X, different point of views. Switch it up a little bit for you guys.
Authorization. The only reason...
Yeah, it's all good. I think with Tony, it's all good. You know, I might jump in too myself. I got like 2 phones, so I could probably just jump in and chime in as well while I'm live. Yep. It's all good.
These things get challenged is because of all of the cheating networks, Mark Elias, Aunt Martha, that you people have set up over the years, and you bet the house on Kamala Harris in 2024. And you thought she was going to just keep the status quo and just be the figurehead while you did all of the dirt in the background like you did when Joe Biden was in there, the half-dead corpse that he is. So now that we have the president that's actually working in our favor on our behalf,
appreciate you, Hood.
You
really
got a case of the ass.
Thank you for that.
You got a case.
Thank you, Hood. Appreciate you, man.
The red ass is not my problem. Go, let's finish listening to Aunt Martha whine and complain about the Supreme Court giving the go-ahead with the mail-in ballots so President Trump can oversee finally, for the first time in God knows how many decades, a free and fair election that I, as an American citizen, am entitled to.
Right.
But frankly violates the federal laws that govern the U.S.
No, it doesn't. Service. Fat ass.
So yes, I do think time will tell.
Yeah, it will.
And what it will tell is a sad tale of an administration insistent on making it harder for you to vote and easier for them to cheat because you have an unpopular president whose party is otherwise going to lose the election.
No, he's
What time will tell is that this is going to be misused and abused to create a permission structure to challenge elections that Republicans lose fair and square.
Aww.
What time will tell is that election deniers,
like me,
advocates of the big lie, will cite this case
big lie
as proof.
What's the big lie?
That somehow there was fraud when in fact there was none.
Big
that somehow there was cheating when this opinion doesn't say that. And shame on the U.S. Supreme Court because they know that that will happen. And they either want that to take place or they simply don't care. My job as a lawyer is to set all of this aside and to take the law as it is.
Sure.
We have this decision from the U.S. Supreme Court. We have been told that it was premature for the states to bring their case. Presumably, this will also result in the lifting of a similar injunction, also issued in Massachusetts, in favor of a bunch of nonprofit organizations.
Do tell.
Now, that's not self-executing, so we're going to have to wait and see if that happens, and if so, how quickly.
We shall.
But from my standpoint as a lawyer representing parties that are injured by this.
Hold on. The election hasn't happened yet. How are you an injured party? That is what the Supreme Court argues. There's no injury, fat ass. There's no injury. How are you injured? The only thing that's injured is your damn intestinal system. That you're not injured. Who's injured? Oh, illegal aliens.
Oh,
that pad your voter rolls, that keep your Democrats, your communists in power. That's who's injured. But you're not injured according to black letter law. The election hasn't even happened yet.
Not given up. We cannot let the cynics win. We cannot let Donald Trump prevail because people like you and me simply give up. Now's not the time to give up. It is to double down and to triple down and to make sure that we do everything in our power to protect free and fair elections in this November and for years to come. And what that means is that in the coming days and weeks, you will see more litigation. More litigation in this case, and more litigation in other cases, trying to make sure that the administration cannot cheat its way into holding power that the American people takes away from it. Look, if there's one thing you can do, is you can share good information about what just happened.
Oh, I intend to.
Don't buy into the lies.
it's crazy.
Like
Don't buy.
You're right. You get in the truth, they still want to be in denial. It's like, what's the point of showing it if you're going to be in denial? Especially when it's 4K. Here's the truth. Crazy.
Buy into the conspiracy theories. Don't let Donald Trump own this narrative. Above all else.
Shut up. I'm done listening.
What's up, Mark?
to your
How you
big,
doing?
ugly, slappable face. So, again, Aunt Martha is pissy today. And I'm so happy about that. For once, the Supreme Court has interpreted the law correctly.
The chief cells in your stomach cannot make stomach acid. The chief cells in your stomach cannot make stomach.
That's something else. There we go. Stay on track.
Authority to direct the use of military force because he could President had the constitutional authority to direct the use of military force because he could reasonably
That's
determine.
what's up, Mark. You vote for Reagan and Trump? That's what's up, man. Great presidents.
That such use of force
Name is Deontay. Thanks for stopping by. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Thank you.
was in the national interest. That's too vague for you?
Totally vague.
Okay, because that's from Obama about Libya.
Well,
Gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha.
President had the constitutional authority.
Got him. Got him. Got him.
To direct the use of military force because he could reasonably determine.
Hey, you know what? I'm a New Yorker. I was born in the Bronx, grew up in upstate New York, love New York. I've always loved the city, but holy fuck. Today I was in the city, had meetings in Midtown, had to walk from 39th and Broadway back down to Penn Station. It was fucking, it was horrific. It was horrific. The number of people spitting, the number of people smoking weed, the number of people begging for money, the number of illegal aliens pushing you around. It was literally horrific, horrific. And this is what people vote for? The people vote for this? You actually vote for these?
Yeah, I'm back, you guys. I'm using Riverside. StreamYard is okay, but I prefer StreamYard. Especially I already paid for it already. So yeah, I hope this setup is better, cleaner, cooler, and much clearer as far as my voice and audio. Thank you guys.
These people that allow this city to be destroyed like this, 20, 30 years ago, that city was fucking cool as shit. Giuliani ran that thing. You come into the city, hang out. We had a great time, go shopping, go to restaurants. Listen, I love it. I love the city. It's an eclectic place, but holy shit,
Tonya,
it was horrific today. Horrific. And you want.
Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you for the gold coin. 100. Thank you. Yeah, I like my background to be seen. It's weird recording about my background and my logo and all that. Not being a narcissist, but I like you guys to know who I am.
Wonder why we voted for Trump, and you wonder why we voted for normalcy, and you wonder why we tried to vote for closed borders? Walk from Midtown to Penn Station. Do it. Try it and see where you're going to be. See where your vote's going to be. This is an eye-opening experience. It's been a couple, probably about 6 months since I've been in the city, and it hasn't gotten any better. It's a disaster. We need normalcy. We need leadership in this city, and Mayor Adams is not the answer. We got to figure something the fuck out. The people in New York City, you better wake up. I'm telling you, you better wake up. Remember, it's so cool to be right, and it's so uncool to be left.
There you go. There you go. On the real. What you guys saying in the chat? Thank you. That's the whole point. I switched it up, the background and everything, because of 4th of July. You know, America 250. So I'm very patriotic. I love America. I love my country. I wish I had served in the military, but I didn't pass the military test. And I was in love at the time. I wasn't focused. Young and dumb. I don't regret it, but it would have been nice if I was. I've been like Rambo, an unstoppable machine, saving the world. Oh yeah, this one here's a good one. I'm glad you guys are here, because what she's finna say is very powerful. For anybody that comes to America and say America is trash and you can't make it, she's finna break it down to you. It's 9 minutes long and it's worth it. I'm glad you guys are here. Let's get it.
One thing I did, my mother and I, we came over here. We saw what America was about, what America had to offer. We liked it. I was like, whoa, I can turn the faucet on in my house, in my apartment, and water comes out of nowhere. There is water. I can go in a shower, quite literally, and I can turn this thing on, and I have water coming from the sky. I can go use the toilet, and I don't have to see my own, you know what? I can flush, and it just disappears. Are you kidding me? Oh, my.
Thank you, Tonya, for the super chat. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Yeah, so you guys can see I'm using X to get the point across. YouTube is good, but X got some real good information. It's more intimate. Thank you. Let's go ahead and continue.
Lights at on 24/7 as long as I pay my bills.
Right.
Wow. America is indeed the best country in the world. So guess what I did? I fell in love. I was crazy. I'm crazy for America. You know what I did? I went on and became an American citizen. Because I wanted to be a part of this experiment for a long time. Number one, I did everything in my power to assimilate as much as I can possibly assimilate. I'm still learning. I'm still in the process of assimilating into America, okay? I work over time to learn the ways of Americans in America. And I would say I think I've done a pretty good job. I have got lots of improvement that I can do, okay? I am trying to grow every day. I'm trying to learn something every day. But then we have people that have been in America for 35 years on temporary protected statuses. Never even try to assimilate at all.
What's that?
They've been here for 35 years. You would never tell if they have been in America. Not 1 ounce of assimilation.
No problem.
And then this is something that really gets me. It's when fellow immigrants like myself goes on ranting about how they build America. I'm not talking about long time ago. I'm talking about people that have been here in the last 75 years, talking about how you build America. Did you build America? This place was built before we even got here. Okay? This country was built before I was born. It was built and developed before my mother was born, before my father was born. How the heck am I supposed to come over here into someone else's country? By the way, they allow me in. I asked to be in your country. That's how immigration work, okay? We request. We back you. We back America. You say yes or no. When you say no, we cry. It is not good at all. When you say yes, we celebrate. We feel like we are the best thing that ever. I mean, like we. I don't understand it. And this is coming from an immigrant myself. I came here as a real refugee based on an actual civil war, okay? And I don't blame anybody. I blame my own people, right? But one thing I did, my mother and I, we came over here. We saw what America was about, what America had to offer. We liked it. I was like, whoa. I can turn the faucet on in my house, in my apartment, and water comes out of nowhere. There is water. I can go in a shower, quite literally, and I can turn this thing on, and I have water coming from the sky. I can go use the toilet, and I don't have to see my own, you know what? I can flush, and it just disappears. Are you kidding me? Oh, my lights are on 24/7 as long as I pay my bills. Wow. America is indeed the best country in the world. So guess what I did? I fell in love. I was crazy. I'm crazy for America. You know what I did? I went on and became an American citizen because I wanted to be a part of this experiment for a long time. Number one, I did everything in my power to assimilate as much as I can possibly assimilate. I'm still learning. I'm still in the process of assimilating into America, okay? Okay? I work overtime to learn the ways of Americans in America. And I would say I think I've done a pretty good job. I have got lots of improvement that I can do, okay? I am trying to grow every day. I'm trying to learn something every day. But then we have people that have been in America for 35 years on temporary protected statuses. Never even try to assimilate at all. They've been here for 35 years. You would never tell if they have been in America. Not 1 ounce of assimilation. And then this is something that really gets me. It's when fellow immigrants like myself goes on ranting about how they build America. I'm not talking about long time ago. I'm talking about people that have been here in the last 75 years, talking about how you build America. Did you build America? This place was built before we even got here. Okay? This country was built before I was born.
Yeah.
It was built and developed before my mother was born, before my father was born. How the heck am I supposed to come over here into someone else's country? By the way, they allow me in. I asked to be in your country. That's how immigration works, okay? We request, we beg you, we beg America. You say yes or no. When you say no, we cry. It is not good at all. When you say yes, we celebrate. We feel like we are the best thing that ever. I mean, like we're blessed because we are. And then people come over here, and then they get.
Let me fix my mic right quick. Should I be doing that?
Very frisky. They get very comfortable. They proceed to tell Americans on the American soil how they are the ones that built America, how America needs them to be America. Meanwhile, 35 years, you could not even figure out how to change from temporary to permanent.
Yo.
But you're expecting me to feel sorry for you. I don't. I have sat and I have watched so many immigrants talk crap about America, insult this country and the people and the way of life in this country, but they would not leave. They would not leave. You know, on temporary protected status, you have to renew things every year. How do you do that for 34 years, 35 years, 45 years? How? And then you have the audacity to burn the flag of this country. Okay, cool. You have the audacity to put your country flag above the American flag. I come here from another country, but guess what? I am an American. I live in America now. You will never see me putting my Liberian flag above the American flag because this right now is my home.
What's up, Brian? How you guys doing?
As long as I live in America, this is my home. And I will forever respect this country because of what this country did for me and my family. Gratitude is not even a word. Appreciation, it's not even anything. But I have sat down and I have watched so many immigrants badmouth this country, insult this country, talk this country. Well, now your temporary protected status of 35 years is gone. By the way, as of today, every country that were on TPS for the last Lord knows how long, today everything is done. Ethiopia was the last country. A federal judge who plays president realized, oops, I'm just a judge. I'm not a president. I can't do this anymore because I am actually stepping out of my role because I'm playing the president. If I tell the president what he can and cannot do when it comes to foreign policy, by the way, immigration fits within that foreign policy. I'm not smart.
Love you guys too. Love you guys.
I'm not educated. I just have common sense. I have gratitude. You people told America that y'all built America. Without you on TPS, there is no America. All the jobs will be gone. Businesses will shut down. Homes will be destroyed. America will never be the same. Let me tell you something, honey bun. These people have got this amount of time to get out. They can get $2,600 if they self-deport. Plus, we pay for their plane ticket.
Amazing.
But if you wait and get deported, good luck to that. All I'm asking you guys to do is go back home and build your country just like you tell Americans you build their country. You haven't tried to assimilate. You have not been a part of the assimilating process. You did not try to become an American. Again, you were on TPS for 35 years. So we don't really have any back and forth with this. This is where you made your bed, and now you can lay in your bed. I have no sympathy. I, too, am an immigrant. We both had a lot of things in common. You chose to insult America, to not do things to become permanently in this country. I chose to respect, obey, and appreciate America. I went through and I became an American. I ain't got to worry about ICE, I don't. I'm not a criminal. I have no desire to be a criminal. One thing I know is this country gives me things all of Africa could not give me.
Wow.
It is just that simple. If it did, I wouldn't be here. If it did for you, you wouldn't be here either. So I don't feel bad for these people. I mean, they didn't even try. Well,
She's right. There was no excuse at all. You've been for that many years, 10 to 30 years, never assimilated, didn't read, don't respect the Constitution, but just being cocky and arrogant. I'm glad to get their ass up out of here. They gotta go. ICE gonna come and get you. ICE, baby. I stand with ICE. They doing their job. Do the right thing, ICE won't bother you. I'm glad this lady made this video. I'm glad I can share it with you guys. Like, share, and subscribe. Name is Deontay. Let's continue.
Some of them try, but then you kind of became a criminal. So once you become a criminal, good luck on becoming an American citizen. In the past, you could lie. Not anymore. I voted for Trump for one thing, immigration. He has far exceeded my expectations.
Amazing.
Far exceeded that. Oh my goodness, an immigrant voted for Trump to fight against immigration. Yes, there is too many fraud in the immigration system. There is too many people that have abused this country for far too long. Again, TPS for 35 years, TPS for 20 years, TPS for 25 years, for 40 years. That is called abuse of the system. Temporary means temporary. Finally, the meaning of words are becoming reality. Okay? Wonderful.
You know what I'm saying? What you think, chat? She went in. All you gotta do is assimilate. This is the Discord. Real. I got some more goodies for you.
And what you think is a friendship with what is known to be a dictator who would eat you for lunch.
Putin would be sitting in Moscow, and he wouldn't have lost 300,000 men and women, but he would have been sitting in Moscow, quiet please. Yep. He would have been sitting in Moscow much happier than he is right now. But eventually, he's got a thing that other people don't have. He's got nuclear weapons. They don't ever talk about that. He's got nuclear weapons. Nobody ever thinks about that. And eventually, maybe he'll use them, and maybe he hasn't been that threatening, but he does have that. something we don't even like to talk about. Nobody likes to talk about it. But just so you understand, they sent her to negotiate peace before this war started. 3 days later, he went in and he started the war because everything they said was weak and stupid. They said the wrong things. That war should have never started. She was the emissary. They sent her in to negotiate with Zelensky and Putin, and she did. And the war started 3 days later. And that's the kind of talent we have with her. She's worse than Biden. In my opinion, I think he's the worst president in the history of our country. She goes down as the worst vice president in the history of our country.
The worst. The worst. $1 billion in debt. No, I mean to say $20 million in debt. $1 billion campaign plus. You had Oprah backing you, and she went in debt. Insane. And you think you want her to budget the balance for America? Not gonna work. All that laughing is not gonna work. You gotta come with it. Especially these grown men. These no beta men. These alphas. Kamala Harris would not be a good president. All that laughing and drinking she does. It's an embarrassment.
A massive flood wiped out everything in its path for almost 40 miles. Villages, roads, power plants, all gone. The wall of water stood 300 feet tall. Scientists are racing to figure out what set it off. But now some are saying a massive glacier sitting at 17,000 feet broke loose, plunging nearly 4,000 feet straight down into a river on the border of Nepal and China, triggering an avalanche and a massive flood. The debris was a mix of ice and rock and mud, as wide as 6 football fields. When it first hit, it was so big, Nepal thought it was an earthquake. One expert said the satellite imagery looked like a bomb had gone off. Damn. The falling glacier jammed the river, forming a natural dam. Water built up behind it with no way out and no warning for anybody in its path. Now, once that dam gave out, it unleashed straight into Nepal. So far, over 157 people are confirmed dead. More than 400 tourists are missing, including almost 50 Americans.
All lives matter. Damn. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
So many of you guys are in my comments arguing about President Trump changing the name of the lake. A lot of times he just trolls you all, and you fall into the trap every single time. You guys should not be in my comments if you hate the president, because I like him, and I'm going to continue to pray for him, and I'm going to continue to talk about him. Do you know why? Because I agree with the prophecy. There was a prophecy given in November of 2007 that named.
See what I'm saying? She said she's going to pray for him. Same thing for Joe Biden, any world leader, Putin himself. Pray for the man, that the man do better. If you like what he's doing, pray that he do better. What is wrong with that? It's so easy to wish ill will on somebody. Why is it so hard to just pray for this man to do better? Anybody, period. Even for yourself.
Him by name that he would be the president. I don't care that you do not believe in prophecy. You cannot argue what was said in November of 2007 in front of a whole audience of people. It does not change the fact that it was said. It does not change the fact that we're seeing it alive and well today. You cannot dispute the words of the prophecy. It is biblical to take land, but because you're so angry and you have stage 4 TDS, you refuse to believe what the Bible says all throughout the Bible. What do you think they were fighting about? They were fighting about land. Every healthy leader, every world power, every superpower knows that it's healthy to take land. We know that the person that has the most real estate has the most power. Everybody knows that. But when it comes to President Trump, y'all's common sense flies right out the window because you hate him more than you love righteousness. You are indignant, you are full of pride, and you are angry. And it's not going to change a thing because God has not taken his hand off the president. It doesn't matter that you don't like him. It doesn't change what God has called him to do. According to his purpose, God has called him, and he's going to continue to increase, and he's going to continue to troll, and he's going to continue to upset you because you dwell in your flesh and not the spirit. You are supposed to be praying for the president, but you will not do it because you're full of hate and you are disobedient. And I'm glad that
what she's saying is true. Facts over feelings. Get out your feelings.
I have made you upset with that one post. You're so mad about it, but it's not going to change a single thing. President Trump is doing what he's supposed to do, and he's sticking to you in the process. And I love every minute of it. Enjoy your day.
Yep. We all get to call it for something. It's just how we answered it. Yep. Mango, what's up?
Ladies and gentlemen, something very suspicious has just taken place in the dead of night involving the Iranian regime, the Russians, and yes, the CIA. And right now, frankly, between you and me, everyone is sort of scratching their heads saying, what in the hell is going on? Well, folks, today we might just have some answers. I think we know what's going on. Let's go ahead and break it all down. Hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. Let's get the information on the table here. Breaking news this morning. CIA Director John Ratcliffe flew to Moscow, Russia for secret meetings. Sources familiar with the situation told CBS News this morning. News of his trip comes after a U.S. Air Force Boeing C-17A Globemaster III transport plane was spotted flying into a Moscow airport, along with a U.S. diplomatic motorcade driving through the streets of Moscow earlier today. Neither the U.S. nor Russian governments have commented on the identity of the U.S. official in Russia or the purpose of the visit. But rumors are swirling. It was CIA Director John Ratcliffe. Secret trip. And really, this video is what went viral this morning. People said, wait a minute, that's an American plane. You have the video right here. Flying into the Moscow airport. There it is. And the CIA Director John Ratcliffe seems to have been on this airplane this morning. Unprecedented. Now, things get even stranger. Before I give you the answers here, let's get more information on the table here. The Kremlin came out this morning and said that they have no information about the arrival of a U.S. Air Force aircraft at this airport. Said Kremlin, the spokesman for the Kremlin, they said, yeah, we don't know anything about this. The plane just landed. The plane just came in from the U.S., and we don't know anything about it. And I believe that because we also got this report. Putin today actually had a major event scheduled inside of Russia, inside of Moscow, with hundreds of people preparing for the event. The event was actually canceled at the last minute due to the visit of CIA Director John Ratcliffe, according to the Kremlin press pool. So Putin didn't even know about this.
Damn.
Folks, John Ratcliffe hopped on a plane, flew into Moscow, and Putin was left like, even he was like, what the hell's going on here? I got to cancel my event now. He had a big, I don't know, whatever the event was, hundreds of people involved. Okay, well, check this out. Breaking. CIA Director John Ratcliffe is in Moscow this morning on a secret trip. Details about whom Ratcliffe met with and what issues were discussed have still yet to be publicly disclosed. Earlier today, a U.S. Air Force Boeing C-17 military transport plane landed in Moscow. Although no official meetings
I did not know all this was going on. Amazing.
Had been previously reported. It came out of left field. More information. Folks, you can't help but notice the timing of this, because what happened yesterday? Well, yesterday, check this out. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, he said this publicly when he announced economic D-Day against the Iranian regime. He said, anyone around the world who helps Iran in any way will be removed from the U.S. dollar system. Bessent said yesterday, any countries, anywhere on the face of this planet who stick with Iran will be isolated alongside with them. That's what we heard from Treasury Secretary Bessent yesterday. He said any country that is economically intertwined with Iran, you're getting shut down. Okay? Complete and total isolation is what we demand at this point on the Iranian regime. Well, what might that have to do with Russia? Might that pertain to this special CIA emergency trip to Russia this morning? Well, yes. Take a look at this. We got this news 2 days ago. According to European government documentation obtained by ABC News, Russia, guess what, has been shipping TNT, drone.
That's part one. So part two haven't came out yet. I'll be on it and show that to you guys.
Abdul El-Sayed wants to take Michigan in a far-left direction. But when questions got tough last night, he had plenty of ways to avoid giving Jesse Waters a direct answer. Now, his association with controversy-prone influencer Hassan Piker is creating an even bigger headache for him and the whole Democratic Party. From reparations to Sharia law, El-Sayed had a lot to say, but cleared up almost nothing.
What do you expect? What do you expect? My expectation from any modern Democrat is very, 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 very low, very slim, very low. You know, that's the thing. These people, they cannot answer direct questions. They cannot answer hard questions. You know what? The questions aren't even hard. That's the funny thing about it. They're logical questions. Basic questions that you should know if you want to be in this world. You know, if you're saying that you want to help people and be there for people, these people, they cannot answer basic questions. It's like they in a circle. And if y'all remember that Asian guy from I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry with Adam Sandler and in circle. So that's what they do. It's a circle. You know, I've seen snippets of it. I didn't see all of it. You know, I'm at a point where I don't want to see no Democrat rep anymore. I don't. You know, everything I see through Republicans like Marco Rubio interviews now, because I'm just at a point where they just exhaust the hell out of me. Every single one of them say the same damn thing, man, you know, and it gets overwhelming to the point to where you don't even want to waste your moments in life looking at them talk. I seen little second snippets and what do you expect?
That's it.
What if all of this was just a show? What if Hong and El-Sayed in Michigan were all just a psyop to get the extreme socialist wing of the Democrat Party on board with the establishment of the Democrat Party? Spencer Pratt raised this question. He's been through this. He said they use fake polls. They use third world bots on their X accounts. They cheat wherever they can to give false impressions of popularity, inevitability of the socialist virus, because the language of the communist is the lie. Now, I saw this and I was like, wow, actually, you might be honest. Think about this. It's actually brilliant. It's not Democrats who are doing this. The elected Democrats are all morons, but people who are behind the scenes are not stupid who get them elected. Elevate radical people that the extreme socialist wing of the Democrat Party gets behind. pay for polls because, you know, Act Blue has been getting all that money from fixed income old ladies who donate 80 times a day. Yeah, right. The men behind the curtain with the dark money, the same people who chose Kamala, who pushed out Plattner, and these pulled these levers behind the scenes. They pay for polls to give these socialists false hope, even pay for ads that they know do not poll well with the generic Democrat voter, but make the socialist happy. Stay with me here. Then the men behind the curtain actually spend a ton of money on the get out the vote efforts on election day and for mail-in ballots in favor of the person they want, which is the more moderate appearing candidate, who aren't actually moderate at all, like Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger. So they have a better chance in the general election. Now, the result here is Democrats get their person they believe is more palatable. Socialists feel heard. Those same behind-the-scenes players then offer that extreme candidate, like Hong will likely be, who lost, a big payday at a donor company. I mean, she couldn't cut it in the restaurant industry. Running for governor was her backup plan. So they're going to have to get her a job at a PAC or a company or whatever. And then in exchange for that, she'll tell her hardline socialist followers to, hey, guys, we gave it our all. Get behind this new guy or gal and unite the party, and pow, they have a united party for the general election. I mean, this was their plan in Michigan last week. I actually don't think.
It's crazy that AOC, she was a bartender, but at the same time, she was a dancer. She wasn't even trying to be a politician. Her brother took a headshot of her and sent it out to some people, I guess some political people, and they made her become who she is. They molded her to be a politician. Because other than that, she is not that smart at all. Period. I was a bartender. But other than that, she, you heard how she talked. Number word salad. At least bring some $1,000. We're going to have a word salad with it. Jesus Christ, it's all dry. But yeah, she is not fit to be president at all. Especially she going to wear a dress from tax to rich. Like, you know you rich yourself, AOC. She gets some millions.
Think that El Said was supposed to win. But when AOC and Bernie endorsed him, he did by accident. That's why those two didn't endorse Hong, because they overplayed the psyop in Michigan, and now they have a radical Muslim socialist who trashes football in a state that, by the way, has the largest stadium in the world, or I think in the United States. That packs, I mean, these guys packed the parking in the Michigan University football season. The big house holds over like 110,000 people, and it's still overflowing every Saturday. Yeah, that guy's not going to do well in Michigan. Hear me out. Not far-fetched, considering the tactics Democrats have used in the past. Again, Al Said was a mistake, kind of like all the other times Democrats lost control of an operation. Fast and Furious, when they lost track of guns they were trafficking to the Mexican drug cartel to make the case that America had too many guns. Yeah, that got a U.S. border agent killed under Obama. They have used psyops on the American people for decades. Remember when I told you about this being authorized under Obama to use psyops just like this on the American people? You ever heard of the Smith-Mundt Act of 1948? This actually prohibited the U.S. government from disseminating government-funded propaganda or psychological operations materials on American citizens. Well, the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act of 2012, which was incorporated into the National Defense Authorization Act of 2013, signed by President then Barack Obama, changed that.
Right.
Specifically, Section 1078.
Right, Angus. That's
got the receipts, folks. The primary goal was to remove limits to the United States government's ability to counter foreign propaganda. This basically showed the government the ability to influence U.S. public opinion. Now, the left-leaning intel community would never get involved in an election wrongfully, right? Oh, except when they funneled the Steele dossier to start the Russian collusion hoax, or when James Comey fraudulently and illegally interviewed Mike Flynn and tried to charge him with lying to the FBI, or when they raided Mar-a-Lago, or sending the number 3 DOJ guy all the way downstream to work in Alvin Bragg's office during the election to prosecute Trump, or coordinating with a Georgia prosecutor, Fani Willis, to charge Trump with a state crime that he could not federally be pardoned for. No. They would never do anything like that. Never underestimate the tinkering the party screaming democracy will do to circumvent democracy.
Right.
But Trump should launch a full-scale investigation into this election. It's a win-win. Think about it. No Democrat should object to this. The socialists sure wouldn't. If it's found that nothing was wrong, then great. We restore faith in our electoral process. If you do find fraud, the socialists will then revolt and then tear the Democrat Party apart, likely start a third party, actually, which would guarantee Republican wins across the board for, I don't know, a century, and will make it a pretty clear case for the Save America Act that you would probably get a couple more Democrats to get you across the 60-vote threshold in the Senate. Checkmate.
He loves the Constitution. He fights for what's right.
The Minnesota State Fair for 30, 40 years. But they've always agreed the fair is neutral ground. And let's all go have fun and respect the fairgrounds. We've had Hell's Outcast, Hell's Angels here. The Hell's Outcast used to hang by the pickle stand. I've been here for many, many years, but we've never had threats of violence like we're having from the Somali gangs. Well, we will have Karen gangs. We'll have some Hmong gangs here. We'll have some, extremists on the right here. But none of them are promising chaos except for the Somali gangs.
This right here is an example of why I say assimilation matters and why many others say assimilation matters. Now, don't get this twisted, because I know some of you think you're smart and you're going to try to say, oh, well, you're making excuses for gangs. No, I'm not. I'm not defending any of the other gangs. But most of these Somali individuals are talking about are either not citizens or their parents migrated here fairly recently. And when you don't force assimilation when people are migrating, I think you get things like this. Now, again, I'm not really a fan of any of the gangs he mentioned, but think about what he said. Even though there were some gangs there, they all, they said the fair was open ground. It's even ground. Like no one's going to do anything there except the Somali gang. Now, again, do these people come from the U.S.? No. Could some of these children be born in the U.S.? Yes, but their parents likely migrated here. And I would argue that they have not assimilated to American culture. And I think part of the reason that is because Americans as a whole aren't strong about that, especially Democrats. Democrats will just let anybody in the country. Don't need to assimilate, don't need to do anything. You got a pulse? Cool, we'll let you in. But in reality, again, when letting people into our country the right way, we need to ensure that they're assimilating into our culture. If they don't want to assimilate into our culture, they can stay where they're at. We should, again, protect our culture. And the reason I'm pointing this out is because this is likely, or it was likely avoidable. Either we don't let those people into the country, or we have stronger safeguards for assimilation once people do get into the country and before we give them citizenship. Well, on top of that, I also think culturally, amongst Americans, we need to feel stronger about people that come here assimilating. Again, because that works to protect our culture and not divide the nation up into a bunch of subcultures that can then fight with each other. It actually becomes much more divisive if we allow many more cultures to take root inside of the United States. So yeah, we shouldn't feel bad about defending and protecting our culture along with our way of life. Don't forget, guys, I have an email newsletter that I send out every morning, 7 a.m. Central. The link is in my profile. Click that link. You'll see a section that says my email newsletter. Just tap that, drop your email in, hit subscribe, and you'll be good to go.
You said, yeah. No, Obama gave billions to Iran, not millions. He gave them billions. Insane.
It just finds new hosts, like a tapeworm or Fox and Friends. Here's DSA zealot Hassan Piker singing a song mocking Charlie Kirk's death at his event this weekend.
Well, he's certainly a shoo-in to win Hamas Got Talent. But, you know, Charlie had engaged Piker in formal debates, and they were both civil and professional. Then Piker treats his murder as a punchline for easy laughs from the mob. He respected Kirk while he was alive, but roasts him once he's dead. I'm surprised he's not selling Glad He's Dead merch on his website. But it's amazing how this crap lingers. DSA members have won 8 nationwide primaries, over 30 at the state level, racking up victories like a trans chick at a girls' track meet. Angie Nixon won in Florida. Here's a taste of what got her elected, including her claim that ICE would kill blacks.
They are going to racially profile us, and they are going to escalate things, and they are going to shoot and kill us, and they are going to get away with it unless we send people like me to Washington, D.C.
Do I support reparations? Absolutely. I'm the only candidate in the race that will say that.
Not extreme to want to make sure that we end for-profit prisons. They want us cheap labor or free labor, modern day slavery.
And folks often say, like, oh, are you going to be able to work across the aisle with the Republicans? They are not trying to work across the aisle. They're literally trying to kill us.
What?
Literally. Great. Wow. Republicans are literally trying to kill black people. Insane. Cool story, says Republicans. Here's our candidate for governor.
Byron Donalds, baby.
But maybe she can sing a duet with Piker and combine Ebony and Ivory with Dumb and Dumber. So it's clear the DSA has become an infection the Dems can't seem to kick, which raises a question. How does socialism, a disastrous concept, continue as a reoccurring option, despite a list of failures that rivals Pauly Shore's IMDb page? It's the same equation that occurs with bad movies, horrible landmarks, and Halloween candy. Necco wafers, candy corn, bit of honey. Now tell me, where am I supposed to put the razor blades?
They go to the left, huh?
Instant failures become classics simply by enduring. It reminds me of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. A building that failed due to unstable soil should have been demolished, but instead its defect made it a tourist attraction. But no one can inhabit it because it's not fit for living. Perhaps it's there to serve as a reminder that some screw-ups are so big, you keep them as a warning to mankind. Socialism is similar, except people inhabit it not by choice, but by force. And it's kept alive by academics whose ivory tower shields them from the mountains of dead it leaves behind. And for the young, dumb, and bored, socialism is just something to do other than face reality. For them, it's becoming a political Rocky Horror Picture Show, which remains one of the worst movies ever made, but it never dies. People revel in its awfulness. For 50 years, they've cosplayed its campy horror. But unlike socialism, at least no one's died from it. But it's a form of historical revisionism. Something initially bad gets rewritten as so bad it's good. A cult classic, if you will. Socialism's like that, except it's so bad, it's deadly. A cult success along the lines of Jim Jones and Charlie Manson.
Damn.
That's because, according to them, all relations between people are relations of power. And although they know how to attain power, they've yet to figure out how to do anything with it but kill. Because they've never done anything, period. That's basically the resume for a socialist. They invent nothing, build nothing, they only destroy. Which is why socialism cannot be called a system at all. It's an anti-system, a solvent that dissolves the existing structure but cannot hold its shape when the old one is gone. Karl Marx spent his life writing about why markets are evil, but almost zilch on what to do after you've destroyed it. That's because their success is measured by how much of the existing order they can destroy, and not whether you make things better. It's not defining a better way to run a society. It's creating a permanent moral license to oppose whatever a system currently exists. Their talent is to look at it and say, well, that's the problem, burn it down. So it's why Piker can rise without ever doing anything in life except mocking those who have done things in life. In a socialist world, that's achievement. In our world, just pathetic.
Amazing. Let's see. Make somebody famous right quick. They can't get enough of it. This guy here.
Ready for some more good news, 47? Yeah, you are. On a Tuesday, headline Fox News. Trump admin eyes historic mass visa revocation. Up to 200,000 asylum seekers, according to a report. This would target B1, B2 visas issued between 2016 and 2026. That is the last 10 years. This is absolutely wonderful. According to Fox News, the Trump administration is reportedly preparing to revoke business and tourist visas held by as many as 200,000 foreigners who have applied for asylum. The State Department is expected to announce the sweeping action in the coming weeks, according to the Associated Press. Also, according to the State Department, quote, we are coordinating with DHS to identify and revoke the non-immigrant visas of foreigners who came to the United States claiming to be short-term visitors. But then they turn around after they've been here for a little bit and they file for asylum to stay here.
Right, all that money went to the illegals. Chicago, perfect example. Losing the Bears. They couldn't have the Bears out with their little budget because all the money went to the illegals. Almost, what, $2 billion, if not more. Let's go Brandon Johnson and Jabba the Hutt, Pritzker. What an embarrassment. All because Brandon Johnson was black, they voted him in. The man is a socialist too.
Permanently. That is according to State Department spokesman Tommy Pigott said in a statement. Yeah, you people that come here on your little temporary work visas or your temporary student visas, you're getting the hell up out of here. And according to Ant Sink, ANTTSINC, over on X, he says,
yeah, I know. I was a head of security at Austin High School for about 5.5 years on the west side of Chicago. And those kids are just fighting. They can't learn. They didn't want to learn because the parents always drunk and high, dropping them off or picking them up. Just straight ghetto. Yeah, the kids there come to the building and leave right out. Like, damn. So if I wasn't like being security and watching the cameras, a lot of these kids, a lot of things could have happened to these kids, leaving the building without nobody knowing, sneaking out. So I would wind the cameras back to make sure the parents know, hey, your student came to the school, but they left the building. You know, these kids are sneaky, and the parents, they just as bogus too. You know, they'll pass the kids if the kids get perfect attendance. The kids can't read or write, but as long as they get perfect attendance, they go ahead and pass them to the next grade or let them graduate. Chicago is bogus. The kids can't read an analog clock. Once they can't write in cursive, that's sad. They should never have stopped doing that. That's your personal handwriting when it comes to writing in cursive. But they want to get rid of that, it seems like. I blame COVID too with this damn e-learning. You really can't learn that much from a laptop. You need human interaction. You need a book.
you should follow him. He's a great account to follow as well. I'll always give shout out to great content creators. Ant Sink says, people on H-1B and other visas were told their final green card interview had to happen in their home country. Interesting. Many booked flights, left jobs and families, and showed up ready. Now those appointments are being canceled with no notice, no explanation, no timeline, because we don't owe you shit.
Nah.
They're stuck overseas in their home country, by the way, stressed out, and no one will say what changed or how long this lasts. Oh, this is permanent, dog. This is you ain't coming back here. I got the power. Oh, big shout out to my president, the pimp of the century. Donald Trump, who is freaking amazing. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is amazing news. We were invaded by illegal foreign nationals that have come here and taken over. It's time for them to go home. Or if they're in their home country, you're not coming here. We're over it. We're done.
Catch you later, Dakota. You a blessing, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Dakota.
With you coming here, going straight to the Office of Refugee Resettlement, getting on welfare, hogging up the system, driving up housing costs, driving up insurance costs for your home, for your car, for your business. You have driven the cost of everything, all inflation is because of you people. Yep, you are a burden. Aunt Seek goes on to say, this is blowing up for a reason. Families and careers on hold while the system stays silent. Now, let's hop on over to Colombia, shall we? Because the leftist media is not talking about something else that is happening. Simultaneously, with the new Colombian president, I want to hear the outrage. This is El País, USA, and that is foreign media. Abelardo de la Espriella orders immediate deportation of irregular migrants from Colombia. It's a political decision. He says unapologetically, get out. Colombian president, he's new and he's conservative. The people of Colombia overwhelmingly voted him in because they're sick of socialism and they're sick of communism. Go figure. While you got these retarded morons here in America with the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, pushing communism on America by making it trendy to young people to suffer. Colombian President Abelardo de la Espriella on Sunday ordered the start of police operations to pursue and deport irregular migrants. Now, the
Balloon, it's the migrants is the reason why the cost is going up. They're not bringing nothing to the table. All they're doing is consuming and taking and taking. What are you talking about? They pay all the taxes, the millionaires and the billionaires. They bring in jobs. What are you talking about?
Foreigners that make up 90%, according to this article, 90% of foreigners in Colombia are from Venezuela. Mm-hmm. We had a huge Venezuelan problem in Colorado, in Denver particularly, in Aurora. And now that Maduro was black bagged by my president, along with his sorry ass wife, they're in prison here in the United States. You can take y'all monkey ass back home. From Colombia, from the United States, from wherever you've been, Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, you can go home now. You can go home. Maduro is gone. Remember, he reinstalled himself. He refused to leave, even though the people of Venezuela overwhelmingly voted him out. Can you imagine living in the most oil-rich country in the Western Hemisphere and probably in the world, but you're poor? Remember when they were eating the dogs, eating the cats in Venezuela because they didn't have no food. They were eating the animals out of the zoo because they didn't have no food. Now, the Colombian president is getting rid of the 2.8 million Venezuelans that came in since 2015. It's time for y'all to go home. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. He is assembling a very large police force of Colombian police and military to get these people up out of his country. That is going to open up his country for his people, and there is nothing wrong with it. President Trump doing the damn thing, revoking all the freaking visas for these foreigners that have been hogging up our system. Colombia is doing it, and other countries in the Western Hemisphere are doing it in South America and Central America. Bet on it. Time for y'all to leave.
When she be coming with it?
Yeah.
Switch it up. Doofus, what's up?
The WNBA story continues. And with that continues the trend of people just saying the most insane crap. You know, these are really the moments where I start to question some people's intelligence. We got a lot of people chiming in on the whole Enes Kanter situation that happened on the floor the other day. And well, let's just say some of this stuff's going to break your freaking brain. We're going to get into all of it. And of course, I'll give you my 2 cents. But before we do, this video is brought to you guys by a sponsor. So let's play that clip. This video is brought to you by Ground News. Look, we live in a real messy information landscape. We all know that navigating the mainstream media is an absolute freaking nightmare. You have to read between the lines and figure out what the usual middle ground truth is. It's very clear that corporate media outlets simply aren't giving you the full picture anymore, but rather they're handing you very cherry-picked storylines designed to benefit a particular political party or corporate interest. And so to properly stay informed in these trying information times, you got to get the bird's eye view, folks. And that, my friends, is where Ground News comes into play. It's the ultimate tool for cutting through the BS because their entire news system is built around exposing the exact information gatekeeping that keeps people in these ignorant information bubbles. This is their premier tool. It's called the blind spot tool. If you read the headline, it reads, "Business group votes to sue New York City over Mamdani stores." A pretty relevant story, I'd say, but if you look down below, 25 of them lean right, very few coming from left-wing outlets. In other words, it's the information that the lamestream media doesn't want you to see. It shows you who's reporting on what and who's staying silent, and most importantly, it gives you the tools that you need to actually think.
Yeah, you all good with me, Sean. You all good with the chat, man. Yeah, I see you got the words misspelled, but I can read it. No complaints. Welcome to the chat. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, Sean.
Freely. So if you want to upgrade your media consumption habits, I've got an exclusive deal for you. Simply scan the QR code on screen or click the link down below in the description. That'll take you to ground.news/hivemind. And once there, you can take advantage of this incredible promotion. We're talking 40% off their Vantage plan, which is their top tier, most premium subscription. Go to ground.news/hivemind for 40% off and start seeing the full picture. A huge thank you to Ground News. Now back to the video. All right, folks.
But yeah, you guys, check out Ground News for real, because it be some stuff that you guys don't see from both sides of the aisle. Like he said, the blind spot, it breaks it down a lot more in depth that you won't get anywhere else. So check out Ground News. If you want to fact check somebody, Ground News is great to use. Ground News, if you're listening, you can sponsor me. I do political commentary. I show the news.
So let's first start off with this. And I got to say, this moment's a little bit disappointing for me. You know, I really like Jason Williams as a character. I loved him as a player. Jason Williams, of course, otherwise known as White Chocolate. But I guess this is probably what people mean when they say never meet your idols. What an utter disappointment this guy is.
Enes Kanter, stupid. He doing, dog. Why does he want to play with women?
For attention.
Why does he need attention?
Because
just do a podcast or something.
Yeah, he probably could cook on a podcast.
But like, why?
Royce White does a podcast.
Why, motherfucker, do you want to play with girls?
Because he wants attention. Yeah, but people will use anything to make it a political issue. That sucks when people make sports about politics.
The last thing I want in life is attention. Attention, bro. You want to play with girls, bro? The out of here.
Yeah.
You're 6'10", like 270.
Now, look, I'm going to be as fair as possible. Maybe Jason Williams is just so tuned out from everything that's going on that he legitimately thinks that Enes Kanter wants to play with women, and he's not aware of the whole culture war issues surrounding it. You know, maybe it could possibly be ignorance, or it could just be utter stupidity. Like, really? This is what you gather from the whole situation? Oh, what a stupid stunt. What's wrong with this guy? And holy moly, those podcast hosts. What a bunch of freaking corporate losers. You could tell they really don't want to ruffle feathers. Oh, well, it's clearly just a publicity stunt. Just a publicity stunt. Like, just go and do a podcast, bro. I think if it really was just a publicity stunt, I feel like he would probably be like selling t-shirts or advertising something beneficial for him alongside it. Notice how he's not doing that. Yeah, that's because it's not a publicity stunt, but these guys are obviously too scared of losing advertisements. They're probably too scared of the WNBA and the NBA turning on them since they're doing NBA coverage, and so they hit us with this absolute cowardly crap. But once again, you see the difference. The people attacking Enes Kanter, you notice how they either never actually address the actual context of the conversation and the debate, or the actual topic just goes straight over their head. Oh, why does this guy just want to play against women? What's wrong with him? Yeah, that's not the frickin' point. The point is you got WNBA players that are actively advocating for men to join their leagues. It's a big problem, especially in lower level competition, especially in high school sports in woke states like California and others. You've got people who are losing scholarships, losing opportunities. You've got young girls being injured or being traumatized by, let's say, locker room experiences. It's a serious frickin' issue, and these people, they don't frickin' get it. And you know what? This whole dismissive argument of, oh, it's just a self-serving publicity stunt. It's a publicity stunt. Even if it was, I still wouldn't even necessarily disagree with it, because you know what? This is actually an important topic that needs more media attention. It's something that's been going on for a very long time. It's something that clearly makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And so, yes, the more attention that we could bring to this topic, the better. And sometimes publicity stunts and activism go hand in hand now, don't they? And you see the double standard, right? When you got NBA players taking a knee, wearing t-shirts with all of these woke slogans and whatnot, putting their fists up in the air and, engaging in all this crap. Oh, it's so brave. It's so brave, so courageous. But when you've got Enes Kanter doing it and the woke mob is throwing a tantrum in response, all of a sudden it's bad. Oh, to be condemned. He needs to be removed from the venue. And then taking it to a whole even further step. Here's the next topic I wanted to cover. Michael Alter, the owner of the Chicago Sky, stated Tuesday that former NBA player Enes Kanter Freedom is banned from the Wintrust Arena following Sunday's confrontation with guard Natasha Cloud. Quote, he has demonstrated to us unequivocally that he has the potential to be a threat, said Alter, per ESPN. Holy freaking moly. I mean, you literally can't make this stuff up. And again, just showing how we're really not dealing with the brightest now, are we here? Certainly not the brightest bunch. These people are either dishonest, cowardly, or frankly downright stupid. Enes Kanter demonstrated unequivocally that he could be a threat. The guy literally just stood up with a funny activist t-shirt. Then you had a WNBA player engage in some of the most disgraceful public freakout activities ever seen in sports ever. I mean, a complete crackhead, totally losing her cool. Enes Kanter simply stood his ground, and he's the threat. He's the problem. Give me a friggin' break. Enes Kanter didn't demonstrate that he was a threat, but you people certainly are demonstrating that you either possess no ability to critically think or possess no freaking balls. It's an absolute disgrace. This whole situation has become so pathetic. The pearl clutching is just unbelievable. You got even Stephen A. Smith jumping on the bandwagon.
And I think on one hand, Enes Kanter was very wrong. It was a classless thing for him to do, because it's not, the ladies that are playing don't have anything to do with this. The league does. Its collective bargaining agreement may be the case. The liberal tilt that it has might be a cause or a cause effect to some degree. I get all of that. But the actual ladies that are involved, they have nothing to do with this. And they don't deserve to be agitated the way he clearly was willing to do in attendance at the game. It wasn't just about him standing, but he was just about to step to her. You got no business doing that.
Enos Kanter took it too far again. You know, we had years of BLM protests and just ridiculous left-wing hoax activism taking over sports. And all of that was fine, but real important, very much needed for the public conversation activism done in a peaceful manner, simply existing. I mean, I get the guy is like over 7 foot. He's an absolute giant. And so sure, he's kind of impossible to ignore, but it's not his fault that he's basically a walking, talking billboard. But now that's unacceptable. You know, the inconsistency really pisses me off, and the clear cowardice on display, how quick people are willing to fall in line and condemn Enos Kanter. But none of these people can grow the frickin' balls necessary to condemn men playing in female sports, to condemn Natasha Cloud's disgusting behavior, to condemn the entire league's despicable, slanderous, horrible reaction to all of this. A bunch of frickin' moral cowards. And I know they're acting all arrogant, so above it all, looking down at Enos, but really, they're falling into our hand, frankly. They're showing the difference between both stances and both sides. They're adding more fuel to the fire, more attention to this very important topic. They're failing to make what's even close to a coherent argument. They're implying that now associating with Enos Kanter is, a social taboo. But after being presented with both sides here, Enos Kanter is the guy I'm going to have a beer with. And these other guys are possibly the biggest dorks I've ever seen. I don't care how rich and famous these guys are. Enos Kanter's got him by a mile, and it's not even particularly close. And I'm pretty sure most people with their heads screwed on straight probably see it that way. Anyways, that's what I got. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Now, if you thought that the Donald Trump W's ended with what we've covered yesterday, then you are an absolute buffoon. All right, to all of the people that turned their back on Trump because he didn't do all the things that he promised within the first year of his second term of presidency, while he was working through infinite Biden garbage and wading through endless communist sludge, well, all of you people will be remembered forever. All right, everyone that was out there on the train, impeach Trump, and all these people that are doing their absolute best to destroy us from within, you could suck a duck. And Hassan Piker basically came out to say that I was right. This was a surprise. Hassan literally comes out and says that I was right. Me, Nuxanor, was right about all the things. You're going to see. It's pretty diabolical. All right, so first things first, ICE just deported a Cuban immigrant to the Congo. Now, CBS reported on this.
Y Asmani, no pueden salir de ese edificio. You cannot leave that building.
No!
Wow.
Wow. We can't leave. We don't have documents. We're stuck in the Congo. We can't get out of the Congo. Now, I have a lot of things to say about this. First and foremost, and instantly the average IQ in America went up, and so did the average IQ in the Congo. So W. That's one. And two, and this is even funnier, bro could have avoided all of it if he's self-deported. I'm just saying, I have no sympathy for these people. All right, he invaded our nation. He refused to self-deport. We picked them up. We dropped them off somewhere. This is literally my trebuchet strategy, where you take them, they refuse to leave, you put them on a trebuchet, and you fling them somewhere in the vague southeast direction. See where they end up. It could be fun. Think about it. All right, so that's my stance. W. Anyway, so a lot of people are very upset at me for my take on this because they think it's unethical that he was sent to the Congo. And I mean, ideally, I would have sent him back to Cuba. But if you mess up and he ends up in the Congo, oh well. I guess your fat face is going to be in the Congo. What do you want me to say? It's your problem, not my issue. ICE arrests hit 50,000 in July, the highest month of Trump's second term. All right, despite the fact that everyone's saying, oh my God, but Trump isn't doing anything. Now the border's closed. Understand the border is closed. We're having 0 illegal aliens coming into our nation. Okay. Now, aside from that, we're also minus 50K a month. Now, people are saying it's not enough. It's not. And I agree. I wish it was more. But this is really massive. Really massive. And because we shut down the entire donor network, It is unethical that they sent him to the Congo. Yeah, it's unethical. That's why it's funny. Right, you see, it would be justice if we deported him to Cuba, but it's comedy if we deport him to the Congo. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Shouldn't have done it, I guess. He just shouldn't have entered our country illegally. El Bozo. What do you want me to say? Should have left. He should have self-deported. Oh well. I'm not going to cry about it. What? So Hassan Piker is going to be mad that his Cuban communist brother is in the Congo now? Oh well. Ripperoonie. I'm sure the Muslims there will love him. Anyway, so 50K gone in July. You absolutely love that. So that is another giant W to all the people that say that Trump isn't doing anything. But in fact, it gets even funnier because the winning doesn't stop there. Not even close. Minnesota is sending strongly worded letters to Somali gangs asking them not to fight at the Minnesota State Fair because the Somali clans inside of Minnesota are literally at war with each other and the police don't know what to do about it. It's like, oh my God, we are literally dealing with back-ass savages from the third world with an average IQ of 67. We can't control them from literally eating each other. All cultures are equal, by the way.
We've had gangs coming to the Minnesota State Fair for 30, 40 years. But they've always agreed the fair is neutral ground and let's all go have fun and respect the fairgrounds. We've had Hell's Outcast, Hell's Angels here. The Hell's Outcast used to hang by the pickle stand. I've been here for many, many years, but we've never had threats of violence like we're having from the Somali gangs.
Damn.
The worst, most diabolical piece of shit gang in America was not even close to the level of savagery we're seeing from first-generation Somali migrants. Okay, I hope you understand what we're dealing with here.
Well, we will have...
There is a biological war being waged on our nation.
Trin gangs, we'll have some Hmong gangs here. We'll have some, extremists on the right here. But none of them are promising chaos.
He's like, bro, the Nazis are better than the Somali.
Damn.
The far right gangs are so nice. They're just so nice. They hang out by the hot dog stand. And, they have a couple of funny remarks they make about Jews. But ultimately, they're kind of nice dudes. Ultimately, they're Western people. The Somalis, they fucking eat each other, bro.
Except for the Somali gangs. We sent 233 letters to kids that we know have had.
A fantastic solution by the Minnesota state government. The cannibals start eating each other in public. And you know what they do? They send letters. That's right. The Karenocracy is finding a way to fight back.
Association with some...
They literally can't read, by the way.
...of the other gang members. And really, it's a warning letter.
Yeah, a warning letter. We're gonna send more letters if this doesn't go well. Again, this is why this entire system falls apart. Like the feminization of Western civilization is truly diabolical. It really is. It's incredible. Obviously, he doesn't want to ban them because it's racist. Obviously, he doesn't want to deport them because, I guess that means they're going to go back to Somalia, and that place sucks. So I guess we just have to let them eat each other. We'll send them letters, though. It's truly awesome. Every single day, I become more vindicated with my prejudices. Man, that came out wrong. But the truth is, that's exactly what we're dealing with. They don't want to lose their voters. All right, so they're importing people. They're all coming with an entire family of tapeworms, and they're all making a nice, loving community here as they eat each other alive in public. It's truly amazing. Now, in fact, not only am I continuously getting justified, but the Trump admin pauses all immigrant visa applications worldwide. I voted for this, by the way. I'll have you know, this I voted for. In fact, I didn't even expect this one to go through because we're getting a lot of cheap labor from India and stuff. I did not think this would happen. I'll be honest. I'll just be upfront. I'll just be real. I didn't think we'd get this. We did. We actually got it, though. This is unbelievable. And all of these Owen Schroyer type dipshits on the right that are, Trump sold us out. He betrayed us. And then they go on the Young Turks to say, we're so alike, you and I. Me and Cenk Uygur, we're both real Americans. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Meanwhile, this is what the Donald has been up to, saving our civilization. Oh, well. J.B. Pritzker, fattest governor of all time, he decided to post this video. When you're in an aura farming contest and your opponent is JB, they all want to be Trump so badly. All of them want to be Trump so badly. He is maxing something, and it's not aura. Every single one of these guys want to be Trump. It's incredible. Trump would post this, and everyone would love it. This dude gets 2 million views and 2,000 likes and 5,000 comments. Holy shit. It's truly wild. Incredible.
No
and he thought this
problem.
was a good idea. Now, in fact, in regards to leftist politicians, a federal appeals court has rejected Democrat Representative LaMonica McIver
No problem. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Have a good night. Yeah, I'm not gonna stay on this too long. This is about, I think, 30 minutes long. I got to work in the morning, 6 to 2.
Immunity defense after she assaulted ICE agents in Newark 2-1. That's right, baby. McLiver faces 17 years in prison with 3 counts, 2 felony, 1 misdemeanor of assaulting, resisting, impeding, and interfering with federal officers. We are putting a congresswoman in jail, baby. In jail. And that's a black woman, so she'll probably get like half the sentence. But in jail, baby. That's right. You can't assault ICE officers, it turns out. I covered this months ago when it actually happened. And I remember when this happened, and all of the dipshits, the R-word right, because I can't say that anymore, on the right that are saying Trump betrayed us because she didn't go to jail. Yup. It took 6 months. She's going to jail. The wheels of justice turn slowly, but they freaking turn. Now, the truth is, you can actually go back to my video from 6 months ago, and I will say that, oh, she's going to go to jail. And I was right. I'm just more patient than these guys. Like, that's the difference. Turns out, if you thought that was the only W of the day, FBI arrests Massachusetts Democrat State Representative Francisco Polino on benefit fraud and money laundering charges. And FBI Director Kash Patel had this to say. This morning, the FBI arrested Massachusetts State Representative. This is a congressman, by the way. Francisco Polino, charged with an alleged scheme involving COVID-19 relief fraud and money laundering. Polino allegedly stole $700,000 in pandemic relief funded by taxpayers, using it for personal expenses like real estate, loan payments, and transfers to campaign account. Polino also allegedly loaned taxpayer funds at a significantly higher interest rate than he was paying. He is charged with 8 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of unlawful monetary transaction money laundering. This comes after FBI partners with Lawrence Mass Mayor Brian DePina earlier this month for similar fraud allegations. Ongoing investigation. No one is above the law. Absolute W. And it's also funny that they're all fat. No, I'm just saying, it is pretty funny that they're all obese. Like all the obese, dysgenic freaks that from the Democratic Party, because evil corrupts from the inside, actually. You'll notice a trend here. Like, if you ever go to, look at one of Hassan Piker convention, you look in the background, and you are literally witnessing, like, Doom monsters. You know, like in Doom, when you go down there and you see some of, like, the most diabolical-looking Schnorglisses of all time just glorbining around. Like, that is literally what Hassan Piker's audience looks like. It's incredible. Just like the goblins on the left are just getting absolutely dumpster cucked. It's incredible. It's wild to watch. Now, Tucker Carlson, of course, still makes believe that Trump betrayed America and nothing is happening, stuff like that. This is him explaining how the Russia-Ukraine war is Israel's fault. That's right. And he says this on Russian state television.
So everybody involved in this, the populations of Ukraine, Russia, and the United States are all pawns in someone else's game, obviously.
I love how he says obviously.
So why would you send a drone onto a beach in Russia? Why would you blow up its oil refineries? Why would you?
Is there a war? Hello?
Hit a school?
Why would you bomb the enemy in the middle of a war when they invaded you? Obviously, it's a strategy employed by nefarious, hook-nosed cretins in Israel. I'm not talking about the Jews necessarily. I'm talking about a foreign nation. I'm not insulting the Jewish people. Of course, I love the Jews. No one loves the Jews as much as me and Hamas. We both love the Jews.
What you're doing, of course, is trying to force Putin to react with violence, force Putin to...
That's right. That's right. But who is really trying to trick Putin into invading Ukraine?
Escalate in a public way. So the United States and NATO are behind these attacks, as noted. Most people in the West have no idea they're even happening. So the point is to push Putin into a place where he cannot ignore this, where his population and the different power centers...
By the way, this is like treasonous, in my opinion. He goes on Russian state media to tell them that actually it's America and Israel's fault that Russia is at war with Ukraine. Like, this is insanity.
Within Russia, put so much pressure on Putin that he has...
To all fans of Tucker Carlson that aren't in Pakistan, is this your guy?
To respond to the hypersonic missile into Warsaw or Hamburg, or has to hit a NATO country either with a hypersonic weapon or some kind of weapon, perhaps even a tactical nuclear weapon. And at that point, you can say, oh, Putin's the aggressor. That's exactly what's happening right now. Europe has no ability to make independent decisions. It's got American troops on its soil, and it has for 80 years. Do we really think that the EU or even NATO have sovereignty, that they're making independent decisions, that they're acting in their own interests? Obviously not. Do you think the population of Germany wants this, or even Britain? Britain is the most warlike of all, but do you really think they want this?
What? Like, what are we even want Russia to invade Ukraine? No, obviously not. But he's so certain that it's not actually Russia's fault. Then whose fault is it? Well, not Europe's fault.
Of course they don't. They are also pawns in whatever this is. And of course, it's a great global realignment of power. As the East rises and the West declines, there has to be, in the view of...
We are still by far the superpower in the world. And it's insane that he's making believe we're not.
The people mapping this out, some confrontation that just resets the board. Resets the international monetary system in terms of trade. All of this stuff is going to be reset. And the only way to reset it is with a global war. That's very obvious to me.
It's so obvious.
No one in America, in American politics, is ever allowed to criticize Israel in any way.
Yes.
Because they're controlled by Israel. Obviously, if you
Obviously, Israel controls America to control Ukraine to attack Russia, so Russia has to attack back. So we blame Russia for the attack that was obviously orchestrated by Israel. It's the most unbelievable thing ever.
And who controls you? Who can't you criticize? I mean, it's just a basic fact of...
Yeah, notoriously, no one can criticize Israel. That's true. I've never heard a single criticism of Israel. Israel is the most unanimously beloved country on the planet, mostly because no one ever criticizes them. Have you noticed? Anyway, it keeps getting better. So here he is on his show, and he gets slight pushback because he tries to let it slide that Iran should have nukes. I want you to understand this. All right? He went from Iran's not trying to get nukes to actually Iran should have nukes. Oy vey, so much of what you earn literally goes nowhere. If you take a look, I guarantee you are overpaying on car insurance. Every year the prices rise, you never question.
If more nations in the region had nuclear weapons, you would have a more peaceful region.
Let's give the suicidal terrorists nukes. For peace, obviously.
This is a long-standing argument that a number of people might...
And this is literally his controlled opposition that's trying to be like, oh, listen, man, I'm trying to say this in the nicest way possible.
Dissertation advisor Kenneth Waltz made this argument in both a famous paper back in 1981, arguing that the gradual spread of nuclear weapons would actually be stabilizing and better than going to enormous lengths to try and prevent it.
Yeah, this is stupid, actually.
Very controversial, got lots of criticism.
Yeah, because giving nukes to terrorists that literally believe in an apocalyptic suicide cult is actually a really bad thing to do. Yeah, that's why it got criticism. Yeah, hot take.
And then in his very last published article, a few months before he
Tucker Carlson, by the way, I make fun of him a lot, but for those of you that are new here, I didn't hear my early criticisms of Tucker Carlson. I've always said that I think he's a foreign asset and stuff like that. That's why he hates America and whatever. And he pushes all this communist gobbledygook to destroy us from the inside and try to, gain power by appealing to the lowest common denominator. In case you didn't hear my full take, let me put it out here. He's using Israel to destroy America. All right? He understands that there's a lot of criticism of Israel. He was not the first to do it, by the way, not even close to the first to do it. He sees that the Israel dissatisfaction is growing a lot, and he immediately jumped on the train after he sensed it rising to make Israel the bad guy in literally all of the things, and he's using Israel to destroy America. That is what he is ultimately doing, and turn America into his little commie, globo, homo, gobbledygook world of absolute garbage.
He died. He published an article in Foreign Affairs. I think the title is Why Iran Should Get the Bomb. And he made exactly this argument that, in fact, if Iran were to get nuclear weapons, it would be relatively secure. It would no longer have much incentive to meddle around with other countries. And it would actually...
Iran wouldn't meddle with other countries if they had nukes. You heard it here first, folks. They killed 1 to 2 million people in the region, by the way. They caused every single instability in the entire Middle East. They are literally sending their terrorists to Cuba and Venezuela to fuck with us. All right, what are we even doing here?
Stabilizing effects. Again, very controversial. Got lots of
They sent Hamas and Hezbollah into Israel to kill random Jews. Like, you don't think that they'll do something with their nukes?
criticism. The logic behind that position is a powerful logic about that using nuclear weapons is completely irrational. For Iran to use a nuclear weapon against Israel or anybody else might invite its own destruction.
Well, it seems like they found a way to invite their own destruction without nukes too.
Useful only for deterring major attacks on your own soil, and therefore a nuclear Middle East might actually be more.
Have there been more or fewer wars per decade between India and Pakistan before Pakistan got the bomb or after?
That's a famous illustration of exactly this argument.
They literally just had a war last year. Again, it's insane.
There are also cogent counter arguments.
I agree.
On,
I totally
the
agree.
other side.
I see the other side about not giving nukes to the terrorist psychopaths. But I actually think that them nuking Israel might be an advantage. Anyway, so Thomas Massey also taking L's. Dude, it's so funny. All right, so he finds some random, complete and utter kook poll. Guys, we did a straw poll, but for 3,000 people in a straw poll. And according to the straw poll, Thomas Massey is the most likely candidate to become the next president of the United States. Bro, the Goyim are going insane. You lost in Kentucky. You lost in your own district as a 14-year incumbent. You're not, like, bro. It's even funnier. He's like, thoughts on this poll? Please reply with when are you?
Palapin, welcome to the chat. Name is Deontay. Welcome. You tell him, Angus.
Are you going to read the Epstein names if you're a paid troll? Like, he's so upset because, again, he promised he was going to read the Epstein names. People started asking him to read the Epstein names, and now he's like, if you're asking me to read the Epstein names, actually, you're literally paid by a foreign government. To tell me to read the Epstein names. Like, do you understand the obvious contradiction here? He said that Trump was a pedophile protector, and then this dude who also knows the names, allegedly, had nothing to say for months. Weird. Where are the names, Thomas? Where are the names? And I'm not getting paid by anyone. I'm fully demonetized. I wonder if Asmund still defends Massey. I do wonder. Again, you know me. I'm 6 months ahead of the curve. All right. Give Asmongold another 4 months, and he will start shitting on Massey the same way I do. All right. You'll see that's the way it operates between me and Asmongold. All right. Asmongold is pro Massey for a while. I always said Massey was an opportunist dick. He's also a libertarian, which means he believes in nothing. I know this is a hot take, but I actually think that your ideology is part and parcel of who you are. And I think libertarians tend to believe in nothing. Not all libertarians, but some. Some different libertarians. Not trying to be rude. But anyway, you'll give Asmongold another 3-4 months, and he will start disliking Thomas Massey. Remember, Thomas Massey was silent for 4 years under Biden regarding Epstein, but then Trump comes into power and he calls him a pedophile protector. Interesting. So Marjorie Taylor Greene had this to say: someone has hacked my personal X account. Now I'm logging out. X, help me. Oh my God, it must be Israel hacking her. This is crazy. In fact, people were immediately suspecting Israel hacked Marjorie Taylor Greene. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene made a response. I guess it was a phishing scam imitating X. When I clicked on ticket details, it said my account was going to be permanently deleted unless I took action. Since I've been permanently deleted before I followed instructions, they were able to get my password and log in. Change the password and turn on their own two-factor authentication, and now I'm locked out. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. She really thought this was a real X post. Oh my God. She really thought this was real. Boomer Tech Alert. Bro, these are the people that are saving our civilization against Israeli secret influence, by the way. It's truly incredible. Now, if you thought that was bad, Owen Benjamin, who I've been covering lately because he thinks that Charlie Kirk was eaten by Jews. This is a real thing, by the way. He's a big Candace Owens fanboy. Tucker Carlson endorsed him, actually. He had this to say: Charlie Kirk was slaughtered under the kosher rules. Pretty sure they ate him. All right, and then he shows this is the stadium, which kind of, from this angle, looks like a menorah. Okay, and these are the rules of slaughtering animals. These are the rules for slaughtering animals to eat them. This isn't shooting a person in the neck to eat him. Okay, like, again, like we are dealing with the lowest common denominator of humans. It's really amazing, actually. In fact, it only gets worse somehow.
Yeah,
Alex
that's what
Jones,
it
after
seems like,
realizing all of his
Salty.
allies are complete and utter
She was,
dipshits, they're
AOC.
completely stupid in every
I'm
possible
also
way.
agreeing.
Turns out he's wrong about everything. He said that Trump should be impeached, even though Trump is actually doing tons of good things, including the deportations and all that. It's time to end the infighting. The enemies of the West in America are counting on us to collectively destroy each other. Alex Jones offers symbolic
Actually,
tolerance to
AOC
Dan
was,
Bongino, Tim Pool, and others. Jones goes on to pledge that he will do his best to focus on opposing the Red-Green Alliance, the Democrats, Socialism America, and other forces who have publicly declared the plan to destroy America and ultimately sink the West. I don't know, man. You turned into Israel grift for the last year, and now all of a sudden, when you realize that shit is this a recent tweet? This is today. He literally tweeted this today, by the way. All right, he tweeted this 6 hours ago. To understand. Isn't that incredible? What are the rules for slaughtering humans? There are no Jewish rules for slaughtering humans. All right. What? So anyway, so this is incredible. All right. So bro's going to come out here and be like, actually, it's time to end the infighting. It's true. I'm right about Israel and all the things and Charlie Kirk and all that thing, but I'm still going to support you completely entirely. Dude. These people are incredible. They're amazing. So anyway, I think you should be press secretary. I think like Mr. Alex Jones, hear me out. Press secretary Alex Jones. Bro goes up there. The reporter asks him about men and women's sports or some shit, and he explains how the putting birth control in the water is turning the freaking frogs gay. It would be amazing.
I've seen contracts into the millions. You saw Alex this weekend lose his mind. These guys just can't stop. They can't control themselves. It's got nothing to do with anything other than a pure hatred for the administration disguised as this victim card. People telling you they're not taking money or their operations haven't taken money from foreign governments. Many of them are just straight up lying to you.
In my first 30 years on air, I had an instinctive rule. Don't ever involve yourself in infighting. Even when I was getting attacked, I rarely did.
And now he's calling for Donald Trump to be impeached. And now he's like, well, oopsie poopsie, we should all be friends and sing Kumbaya around the campfire. Now, to make all these people look a little bit stupider, so Tyler Robinson's defense literally called Candace Owens crazy. This is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. This is a court document from the Tyler Robinson case. There's a reference to, unstable people coming to the courthouse, to conspiracy theorists saying things online. We're all aware of that. I mean, I don't know what the court has read. It's none of my business. I've received some wacky phone calls and emails, people telling me what they think happened here. It's noise. We're not litigating this.
Appreciate you guys. It's been like with let's see. We got 10 minutes left of the video. It's been an hour and 46 minutes. I really appreciate you guys. 10 minutes left. You gotta go to bed.
In the press, we're not talking to the crazies. That's on the outside, bro. They're all just like, yeah, this Candace Owens character, she bitches be crazy. In fact, Candace Owens recently went viral for this one. This is how she pronounces the word bureaucracy.
Oh, these women, they love democracy. No, they love a bureaucracy. Okay. It's become a bureaucracy. There's just a bunch of bureaucrats in DC that are running everything. That was a very scary time where we realized just how bureaucratic our country had become. Politicians and to the bureaucrats who accept money during a cocktail party among bureaucrats. And we're going to figure out how all of these bureaucrats are just wasting tax dollars, people to sign in laws, creating all of these bureaucrats, these bureaucratic organizations. Bureaucracy.
Man, she really is just the cream of the pie.
Hippie,
It's unbelievable.
what's up?
I feel like it's important to talk about her as much as I can. Bioweapon Owens over here sent in like an actual emotional grenade to detonate and destroy women's throughout the country. It's truly incredible. And they all fell for this like slopaganda, unbelievable true crime Netflix style investigation done by wine moms in their home that can't pronounce basic words or read. It's truly amazing. And you know who actually agrees with me on all the things? Not only does the person I'm about to show you agree with me in regards to the fact that Charlie Kirk was obviously killed by a deranged leftist, but also the fact that Charlie Kirk never actually changed his mind in regard to Israel. I've been saying this the whole time. Yes, I think Charlie Kirk was upset at Jewish donors that were pressuring him to censor him and not have host Tucker Carlson on his show. Absolutely. I think a lot of Jews are very annoying, actually. So that makes a lot of sense. But the point that I'm trying to make is he never changed his mind on Israel. In fact, he literally was writing PR notes for Netanyahu right before he died. He was also literally in a Zoom call the day before he was assassinated, planning his talking points on Israel better. Okay, he was always pro-Israel, and that didn't change ever, actually, despite what the dipshits want you to say. He was way more pro-Israel than I am. So, I mean, like, obviously, this is wild to see that they're all doing this. And you know who agrees with me? You know who came out of nowhere to corroborate everything that I am saying? An unlikely ally, Hassan Piker. Hassan, terrorist loving, dog zapping, Mao, dick sucking Piker, Turkish cockroach Piker. Unbelievable.
This could have been his opportunity. He could have been the next Charlie Kirk. And instead, Candace Owens came in and was like, I'm the new Charlie Kirk. And I'm going to get there by talking about Charlie Kirk in perhaps one of the more disrespectful fashions, even though all of the Kirk heads are now Candace Owens heads, and they think Candace is doing his memory justice. It is the most insane way to go out, man. It is such a crazy way. Like, his legacy would have been better honored if the Trump administration actually arrested people like myself by pointing to his assassination. True. And Candace Owens took that and was like, I'm the only one who cares about him. Peep the videos. That's my work wife. We listen to Nicki Minaj together. And also Charlie Kirk can actually change electrical currents. And people were like, oh my God, I believe everything you're saying. Tell me more. She pointed to the menorah in the courtyard. She said, look at the menorah courtyard. There's a hole in the ground. You know who likes to make tunnels? Jewish folk. Look at Brooklyn. There's tunnels in there. As though there's any Jewish people in Utah. Anyway, doesn't matter. None of it matters. She literally dominated discourse with this. And there are people who...
I love how the left is like, yeah, we're going to lie to you. Yeah, we're going to push fake news. Yes, we're going to manipulate you. We all know it's lies. We don't actually care about the truth. We only want you destroyed. Look at this. Him admitting he should be arrested. Him admitting Candace Owens is crazy. Him admitting that Charlie Kirk was assassinated by a radical leftist. It keeps getting better. He keeps corroborating the things that I say.
Or just straight up like, no, she's the truth teller. I forgot about his superpowers that she talked about. Yes, dude. Yes. Egyptian helicopters. The real Jews are the French. Like, she went, Jews killed Kirk, and then she went, the real Jews are the French. I was there. I watched all of it happening. I couldn't believe it. She said, it's Jews that control the media. Then she said, it's actually French that control the media because the real Jews are the French. She said that shit. And perhaps what's more insane is people believed it. Why didn't he just say Israel did it too? I think he's just, I don't know. I think he has the same kind of autism.
I love how Hassan Piker can't possibly fathom that some people are just honest. Isn't that incredible? He's like, but why didn't Nick Fuentes also blame Israel? Because he didn't think it was Israel, because there's no evidence that it's Israel. But he doesn't believe that, because in Hassan's worldview, the truth is secondary to the narrative. The narrative always dominates the truth to him. He doesn't care about reality.
That I have where he has to literally, like, when he sees something as illogical as the argument that like Israel killed Charlie Kirk, he just can't, he has to say that that's not the case. I don't know. It is kind of crazy that if Charlie Kirk wasn't assassinated, we were straight up going to debate on the issue of Israel.
Yeah, and then you celebrated his death. Isn't that fucked up?
So I am at least uniquely positioned in this story.
It is pretty interesting, though, and he does make a valid point here, actually. Look how incredible this is. Before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, Charlie Kirk was supposed to debate against Hassan Piker on if Israel is justified attacking Gaza. He was killed right before a debate that he was supposed to have defending Israel, and they're saying he turned on Israel. Like, bro.
To know exactly what his takes were, because I was researching his positions on Israel. And that is my only point of view on this, where, like, even if it was Israel that killed him, which I don't believe, but also, if my queen believes it, then what am I? I'm just a bystander. You know what I mean? I can't argue against the queen. However, the one area that I take issue with is literally the notion that Charlie Kirk was changing his perspective on Israel. Charlie Kirk was, till the last moment, Donald Trump's loyalist. Okay, he was Donald Trump's servant. I have plenty of evidence to show you, especially on the issue of Jeffrey Epstein. Charlie Kirk was a huge Jeffrey Epstein guy, and as soon as Donald Trump gave him a boss call and said, "Shut the fuck up about Jeffrey Epstein," he said, I'm going to shut the fuck up about Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, that was actually not completely true. He just lies here in order to slander a dead man, which is unbelievably fucked up. Right. However, Charlie Kirk was right about what he said about Jeffrey Epstein, which is he said that Jeffrey Epstein is a talking point being manipulated by the left. Okay, that's what he said, to be clear. All right. So while Hassan Piker is making it sound like Charlie Kirk was defending pedophiles before he was killed, which is a lie, Charlie Kirk was actually literally and directly stating that the leftists using Jeffrey Epstein this way is malicious and dishonest. And he's completely right. Because it turns out Jeffrey Epstein was a leftist operative. He was friends with all the leftists around the world. He was funding transgenderism. He was funding COVID lockdowns and shit like that. All right. He was funding every Democrat. 89% of his donations went to Democrats. All right. That's the truth. And the craziest part is, so here we have Hassan Piker literally slandering a dead man, obviously.
Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands. I've said plenty this last weekend. So if you guys want to see my commentary on it, that's fine.
Charlie Kirk unironically did write a book that I think is now postmortem published about Israel, specifically about how conservatives should defend Israel. He wrote a letter to Netanyahu on how to win back the youth. This is literally this was one of his primary concerns.
So Hassan Piker is essentially saying that Charlie Kirk was not killed by the Jews. He was not changing up his opinions on Israel. He was doing all those things. He simultaneously celebrates his death. However, he will never correct the record. He will continue slandering him even after he's dead. He will continue justifying his murder. He will continue pushing Candace Owens' slop that's destroying Charlie Kirk's family, despite the fact that he knows it's not true, because it helps him. All right, because it helps him. In Hassan Piker's worldview, Israel evil. So therefore, he's more than happy to let Candace Owens destroy Charlie Kirk's family because Charlie Kirk was pro-Israel. All right, it doesn't matter. He thinks that all conservatives are evil and he hates America. So he is doing whatever he can to destabilize and destroy America in every possible way. He doesn't care about our nation, obviously, but also he's evil and wants to kill us. All right, so understand the mindset that he has when he goes out there and pushes things that he knows are lies. So I really find this clip fascinating because here he is basically admitting that, like, my take is correct and Asmongold's take is correct, except he would never say that, obviously, because he wants the lies to win. The truth never matters to the left because the left doesn't believe in actual physical reality. The left believes in whatever they want to believe. The left thinks men could be women if it suits them, and the left thinks that communism works. All right? The left actually is cancer. They are demons. They use words as weapons to manipulate you and destroy you. They're goblins. They're xenos. They're aliens, and they need to be purged in flame. Heretics. In fact, that I did an entire deep dive on leftists. It's on my Patreon, actually, talking about how leftists are all evil and they use words as weapons and they just lie constantly. They are anti-reality warlocks, and we will destroy them. This video is sponsored by you, brave heterosexuals out.
Yep. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. I'm going to get up out of here. See how tomorrow goes. I'll be back tomorrow for you guys. I work in the morning. 6 in the morning, 6 to 2. Love each other. Respect yourself. Respect others. Control.